All right. Hey, folks. So we're back for part 5 of the I Gained 20 Pounds of Muscle in My First Year of Training video series. Hopefully you guys have found it useful. I've enjoyed this trip down memory lane and just evaluating myself 25 years later, which has been quite fun. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good. I want to talk today a bit about the logbook and a bit about progressive overload, and also about keeping it fun, which I think is important, especially in the early years. But before we go on, approximately 1/3 of you guys and girls are not subscribed to my videos. So if that describes you, just have a look. Are you subscribed? If not, hit subscribe. And for the rest of you guys, comment. It's good for the algorithm. Like the video. Now let's get on. So in those early years, beating the logbook was super important. And the reason it was important was it provided me with an objective view of whether I won or lost. Now, why was that so important to me? Because I came from about 7 years throughout my teenage years of playing football for about 10 to 15 hours per week. Played a lot of football. Played it during the week after school. Once I finished my homework, I'd go out to the field. And also I played Sunday league as well. So I played a lot of football. Football's a great game. Loved it. The problem with football, though, how you did doesn't always have a great deal of influence on the outcome of the game. Now, I was always very competitive, so I like to win. Yeah. I could have a great game and we could still lose because it's a team game. Or my team could win and somebody else on my team could have played terribly, but we still won. And I have to share that victory with him. That doesn't feel good. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth night after night. And I always want to try hard. So I think looking back retrospectively, one of the reasons that I really enjoyed weight training and bodybuilding and powerlifting was through the logbook, because the logbook provided me with my win or loss for the day. And it was all very fair, because if I won, I could look back across the week and go, yeah, I slept well, I ate my food, and I won. If I go in and have a rubbish session, I could normally pin it down to something I did or didn't do during the week. Oh yeah, I went out Friday night, messed me up a little bit. I could pin it down to something. So winning or losing was down to me. And after years and years of playing team sports, that was a big, refreshing change. So that's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed the logbook. Now, there were other benefits that came from relying on the logbook so heavily. And some of those have been called into question, I think, over the last 25 years. So I want to just talk about what I did, but also some of the misconceptions around progressive overload and the logbook. So in the beginning, for me, using the logbook in that way made things very simple. I won or I lost, and it was down to me. Yeah. Simple is good. Okay. If I got stronger, I won and I was going to get bigger. Great. My mantra in those early days was progressive overload in medium to high reps with good form. That's still my mantra to this day. So that was always the goal. And if I was doing that, I was going to get bigger. I just trusted I was going to get bigger. And I did. I gained a tremendous amount of size in that first year, 20 pounds of muscle. So that very simple mantra in my 18-year-old mind made things nice and simple, which meant that I wasn't getting overly bogged down with details. I didn't care about details. There were forums online which were discussing all kinds of things, like slowing reps, like length and partials. There was all that going on back then too. Slowing down the reps, focusing on the squeeze, the mind-muscle connection, all that stuff was still prevalent back then. 20 years ago is a long time, but people don't change. People were discussing all that stuff back then too. So I had all the distractions, but me, aside from every other beginner in the gym, I was not distracted. And that meant I was able to make progress, which meant I was able to have fun. So the simplicity meant I was able to have fun. No, I'm not saying there weren't gaps in what I did. Yeah, could have been improvements. Sure. Some of my exercises maybe could have been a bit more bodybuilder focused. Sure. I had fun. I was progressing and I was gaining tons of muscle, way more than anybody else who started off at the gym the same time I did. So in a sense, the simplicity and the fun counted for a hell of a lot more than the minutiae of details. And I think that's where we're going wrong today. So just to take you back, I think it was around about 2016, I first heard this. Somebody online had the bright idea that progressive overload was the outcome and it was not the method. And we all didn't really understand progressive overload correctly. They were saying, look, you don't understand progressive overload, it's the outcome. But actually, the method is your training quality, your intensity, your sets and reps, your volume, all that kind of stuff. And whether you add weight to the bar is simply just a measure of what you did previously. It's not the method. It's not how you gain muscle. No, how you gain muscle is more down to the quality of your workout. Yeah. Now, I think that gets into slight pedantic semantics. And I don't really like that because over the long term, and muscle is built in the long term, you're going to have to add weight to the bar, right? There's only so many ways you can improve the quality of your set. There's only so high that your reps can go before you have to add weight to the bar. So adding weight, which increases stress on the muscle. Yeah, if I add 5 pounds more weight to the bar, that's 5 pounds more stress that I'm lifting. That is what drives the growth, because we know mechanical tension is the primary driver of muscle growth. So I don't really think this idea that other factors are the method and progressive overload is the outcome really holds up. In my opinion, it's both. Yeah, it is a method because it places more stress and tension on the muscle, but it is also an outcome. So it's like a chicken or egg situation. You add weight to the bar, you get stronger and bigger, which means you're able to add more weight to the bar and around it goes. Now, you might say to yourself, what comes first? What is more important? And again, it goes back to that question. Is it the method or is it the outcome? Are you able to add weight to the bar because you got bigger, or did you get bigger because you added weight to the bar? And I think it's both, but I think it stems with adding weight to the bar because quite simply, I can get bigger without adding weight to the bar. Doesn't mean I'm going to grow more muscle. So it all starts with adding weight to the bar. If I add weight to the bar, increases stress and tension on my muscles, which mean I'm more likely to grow muscle. Now, I can still eat my way up in body weight. Doesn't mean it's going to be good quality muscle. If I just get fat and I don't put the time into the gym and really focus on adding weight to the bar and doing all the things, I'm just going to get fat. So I think it still comes down to adding weight to the bar as the method. And I think it's both the method and the outcome. So where I disagree with people is if they say it's only the outcome. I think, first of all, that's wrong because it's also the method, like I've just explained. But the second thing is I think it's usually a well-intentioned overcomplication. I think these people don't mean harm, but I think it's a well-intentioned overcomplication. Whereas in my first year of training, I didn't have that complication, which meant I was able to keep things simple and keep things fun. And keeping things fun is half the battle. If I didn't keep things fun back then, I probably wouldn't have stuck to it. I probably would have done something else. Like I played a lot of football. I was also pretty decent at tennis. So I stuck to it because it was fun. It was simple. My logbook, every time I got a little bit more weight in the bar, ticked it off, and I was like, yes, it made me feel good. But that was it. I kept getting that instant feedback saying, I'm doing better, I'm doing better, I'm doing better. If I had to focus on the quality of the set, overly focus on that, or adding reps up to a ridiculous amount, or adding pauses to my lifts, it just wouldn't be fun. Whereas horsing some weight was a lot more fun. Getting super strong was great. And that's what caused me to add so much muscle in that first year. So I think some of these people they do try and sex things up a little bit when they're trying to promote themselves or their YouTube channels or sell their ebooks or whatever. But I think in the end, it's overcomplication, which the majority of you don't need. So that sentence again, progressive overload in medium to high rep ranges with good form. It's mostly everything you need. And for me in that first year, it was crucial. Right, folks, I'm going to call it there. That was my episode on the importance of the logbook and keeping things simple and fun. I hope you enjoyed it. So hope you're having a great week anyway, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right.